Good evening, kings and queens of the land. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. Good evening to all the liberated zones in Africa. I have to mention President Ibrahim Traore leading Burkina Faso, um, President Abdurrahman Tian in Mali, President in Niger, President Assimi Goita in Mali. Good evening to President Zuma in South Africa, KZN, KwaZulu Natal. Good evening to ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mngoni Mkonto. This is the Royal Opinion. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. Breaking down issues like you've never had it before, breaking down issues in a way that nobody has attempted to even try and break down the issues in that way. Many things happening in South Africa. Today I want to speak. Before, let me introduce what I want to talk about. Today I want to talk about the reason Julius Malema has been found guilty in Eastern Cape High Court. I want to talk about what is the reason for that, and also want to talk about the reason for a lot of even the the is it SIU report, whatever they attempted to do the other day. I want to talk about. I'll explain why those things are happening, and I'll also cast some aspersions in some in another instance. Natim Tetwa has passed away in France under suspicious circumstances. And I say suspicious because first, uh, he was implicated by Ntantla Mkwanazi in the commission under oath, which is investigating the interference of politics and to protect the mafias. So Mkwanazi named Natim Tetwa as one of the people who interfered with his work. The commission obviously had to call Natim Tetwa to defend himself or to uh, agree with what General and Tantam Kwanazi was saying about him in the commission. He is reportedly have sent a panic message to his wife. As Mele read, he reportedly sent a panic message to his wife 24 hours before he was discovered. I don't understand. I don't understand because an ambassador, a French ambassador, it's when he goes around with intelligence. I mean, when he's in France, he's a South African spy in France. So he's an intelligence man. He's got South African soldiers or South African intelligence services to help him out navigate. He's got police to take care of him, and he is not just gonna his days are scheduled. He's got meetings. He's got this and that. Um, he's not just gonna walk out and go to some hotel and book in just like that alone without. Where was his security when he went to the hotel? Secondly, why is it that there's no witness? Why is it that there's no eyewitness? I mean to say, there's no eyewitness to this issue, but it says to have happened in a hotel and in a very famous hotel. Probably they've got cameras all over the hotel. We would actually be even having images of him jumping off the the 24th floor where they say is jump out. So we'd even have the images. So, but there's nothing like that. And in 24 hours, if an ambassador, a person of his stature, is missing, you could locate him in 5 minutes because he had his phone. Sending his message, it means sending a message. It means he had his phone with him. So it could be easily located by intelligence services, South African intelligence services, or the French intelligence services, or the police, just ordinary police. They could easily have detected where he is. When he checked into the hotel and his wife has reported that he is missing, the hotel staff or some way or the police or something could have been aware that he's checked into a hotel, since even the phones are actually tracked. The Google Maps that we have in our phones, the phone can be tracked to 5 meters to 2 meters. The phone, they can be able to track the phone to locate you. So under the circumstance, um, I don't understand how they say it happened. They say the mainstream media says he jumped off from the top floor. I say it's either there is actually foul play. I say there is foul play by the events, by the way the events have happened. There is some foul play, and this is a high class case which is protected by high class people. If no images and no eyewitness is available to tell the story, then it's probably a super job done by the super people at the top. Two things may have happened. One, he may have disappeared. Two, he may have died as reported. The other is also a possibility because the way the event took place, what happened, one thing that we need to understand and know about governments. Governments are, okay, let me talk about the government in South Africa. The government in South Africa was established in actual fact since 1700 by the British in the Cape. So they set up a colonial government in the 1700, basically a formal government was set up in the 1700, uh, while Jan van Riebeeck arrived in 1652, but he actually set up a formal government in around 1700 in the Cape. The government which was set up in the Cape, it was set up by the British for the benefit of the British with the exclusion of the local people. So, since the government was set up in the 1700 by the British, I think it was in 1793 when the British set up a government in the 1763 when they set up a government in the Cape Colony. They call it the Cape Colony. And when they decided to form the United of the Union of South Africa in 1910 after the Anglo-Boer War, when the white people have fought in our land for the land, when they've agreed to set up the government for themselves, exactly the way the governments were set up, exactly the way the government was set up by the apartheid government, uh, exactly the way they set it up for themselves. Black people went into the structure and started governing. Nothing has changed. They actually only replaced uh, the whipper, not the whipping. They just changed the whipper and bring in somebody who can whip a little bit more, because like the slaves, when the slave master was tired of beating up the slaves, he mandated one of the slaves to beat up their own. And the slave master was so impressed, realizing that he's actually not doing a good job to whip these people. The slaves can do a better job to beat each other up. So he used to take the whip. The slave master now takes the whip and give it to the slave so that they can whip the other slaves in line. First, the white man was not fit in terms of his physique. He was not strong because he was not the one doing the job. The slave himself was fit and strong. He could beat up the master. So, and most of the time, when the slave takes the whip, who is very fit, the slaves are going to feel the beating because now they are being beaten by somebody who is fit and strong. So that's what happened in South Africa. The whipping did not change, meaning the beating did not change. They only changed the person who is beating us up. Instead of the white person beating us up, they put the black man to beat us up. And we found that the black man has no mercy. He beats far more than the white man can ever be able to beat, because the white man is not that fit to beat up black people. But the black man or the slave himself is fit and able to beat up his own people. So the governments, we are the ones who are stupid to believe the government, because the government is set up for the benefit of the white people. Since they set it up, we are even stupid to believe that this is our government. We are in South Africa, we are born here, but uh, not necessarily that we have government. We don't have a government. Whatever we're having here is something that has been forced on us by those who have come here to defeat us. So back to the issue that I was talking about Natim Tetwa. The reason I actually went along about the government, I wanted to demonstrate that we've no obligation or no reason to believe and trust the government, because the government was set up by our enemies, the people who have defeated us, uh, in order to continue to thrive over us. So we've got no reason to trust the government. And we are the ones who are guilty of complacency, because if people come uh, to fight to defeat you in a criminal way, um then somehow you become delusional. You think the same person who came to defeat your grandfathers is now your friend and is going to take care of you. I think that's another issue that many people have to wake up to. So I don't really trust the official report. I don't trust the mainstream media, who are not even logical. They just give the report. They don't follow. It's just that the average news absorber does not follow whether this is truth or not. As long as it's reported on ENCA or in on SABC, it's assumed to be the truth by an average person. An average person just assume that if it's SABC or if it's the official media, then it's the truth. But the truth of the matter is 100% of the time they speak propaganda, and maybe 1% of the time they may speak half truth. There's never a time where they speak the truth. Never a time where they will speak the truth. It's only propaganda and half truth in order to continue to confuse black people so that you don't understand what is happening. Click the like button and subscribe if you are coming here for the first time. Click the like button and subscribe. My name is Mngoni Mkonto. We're talking about the reason why Julius Malema has been found guilty by the Eastern Cape Magistrate Court. Um, Five charges which were put against Julius Malema. Julius Malema has been found guilty on all counts, on all five charges. But why do they find Julius Malema guilty at this moment? So they found the magistrate found him guilty of all the charges that discharging the firearm. Uh, his defense was it was a toy, but the magistrate says it was a gun. So he was found guilty of basically mishandling a gun. That's the principle. But it's five things that he was found guilty on. I don't want to go and read those things. You can find them anywhere. They are available in every news channel, in every, those are available. But um, the point in general, he was found guilty of mishandling a firearm. Um, that's what he was found guilty about. And the charges would range from, the sentencing will range from maybe zero suspended sentences to about 15 years in jail if he's given maximum sentence. But what is going to happen? Is he going to be, why is he found guilty? The reason Julius Malema is found guilty, it's not because he's guilty. He's not guilty of anything. He's not guilty of shooting at anyone. And everybody knows he's not guilty of shooting at anyone. But okay, let me first address this one first. Let me give my opinion about him playing with the guns. The CIC was found guilty of playing with the guns. The mission of the EFF is, we can say, expropriation of land without compensation. If his defense in court was, I was discharging a firearm to warn white people of the war that will be coming to them if they don't give up the land, I would be siding with Julius Malema. But just to go and play with a firearm in front of people because South Africa is a gangster land, it does not make sense. If you want to be radical about it, if you want to use it to be against your enemies, then it makes sense. So I would be agreeing with Julius Malema if it was the case of him, which has to do, if he was arrested with something that has to do with what he says it's his commandate, which is liberating black people. If his commandate is liberating black people, why play with the firearms and what at the stadium? Why are you playing with firearms at the stadium instead of, or after playing with those firearms at the stadium, why are you saying, why are you not using that opportunity to launch a protest for the land? Because he was supposed to just launch a protest for the land. So instead of doing that, Julius Malema goes there and say it was just a toy. If it was me, I would say it was not a toy, it was a real gun. I was discharging it to warn white people of the war, which will come to them if they don't share the land with black people. If he went to the magistrate court and defended himself like that, it would be even difficult for the judges to find him guilty. If they find him guilty, then he's a martyr. He goes to the prison and die for the people. We can't say now if they arrest him and take him to the prison, he's dying for black people. What help are black people getting at him, firing a firearm in celebration, like a gangster? After stealing a car, then in celebration you just fire a firearm. How is that related to the struggle of black people? If his defense was firing a firearm, I don't have a problem with Julius Malema firing a firearm. I don't have any, and I don't have a problem with him holding a firearm or firing. But I have a problem if his defense is going to be it was a toy. Then he is not arrested on because of his Yeah, I think I was taken out for a while there. I was taken out for a while. I was out for a while. Thank you very much for staying around. I even lost my trail of thoughts on what the issue that I was actually getting deeper in discussing. But my point about check this one. Oh yes, I'm back. Queen Precious says you are back. I am back. Full force. I am back. Thank you very much for waiting. I was taken out there by the network or whatever is taking me out. I'm not so sure. The point I'm trying to the first point that I was trying to drive about the CIC is the CIC has never been arrested, sorry, or charged for something which has to do with the striking of black people. He's arrested for funny thing for getting excited. I mean, he's found guilty for getting excited uh, in a EFF rally because of the crowds when he saw there were so many people. Out of excitement, then I took a gun from the security or whatsoever and then shot at it on top or wherever he shot, and then he's found guilty of that. Is there any sense in that? There's no sense. I'm not saying there's any sense in that. He's not supposed to be found guilty of anything because they know exactly he's not dangerous for he's not gonna be shooting at people. He's a very reasonable human being. There's no need to find him guilty of such things. He's a very reasonable person. But my point is, it has got nothing to do with black people. It has got nothing to do with the struggle for the land, nothing to do with the struggle for the economy, nothing to do with the nationalization of the strategic assets of the country. Nothing to do with that. Nothing to do with the nationalization of the Reserve Bank. It has got nothing to do with that. So he's been found guilty out of things that has got nothing to do with. So I'm not in sympathy as such, even if this was to have any impact. But the reason is, let me get into the reason why is um, found guilty in the first place. The reason is actually found guilty, it's because they they want to make him popular. The system wants to make him popular in South Africa. They are worried that President Zuma is going to take over because President Zuma, while they are busy uh, covering up their crimes, he's busy campaigning. He's going around South Africa convincing the kings and queens. He's going around villages convincing villagers to change the government, while there are other people are fighting hard to cover their criminal um, activities. President Zuma is mobilizing the ground in in a way that it has never been seen in South Africa. President Zuma mobilizing people in a way it has never been seen in South Africa. The elections that are coming, the municipal elections, are going to be to show exactly what we're talking about. It's going to be difficult for them to rob elections this time around, precisely for the reason that there's a lot of people who will be working for the MK party. So there will be a lot of intelligence everywhere to be able to see. And secondly, because there are local elections, they will be declared in the station. They don't have to travel to another area to be declared. The only way to rob the elections is through importing other people, and it's difficult even in that regard because the people who stay in the ward knows about the people who stays around. So the ANC is going to lose power from black people, and the Democratic Alliance is not going to make it. Even in Joburg, where they've sent Ellen Zille, they actually have fear that President Zuma may take over even Johannesburg. So they want to give Julius Malema an image of a Pan-Africanist and a struggle hero who has been found guilty by the government of Ramaphosa just because he is representing black people. That's what they want black people to think. But is he really representing black people? No, Julius Malema is not representing black people. He is a slave trader. He sold out black people just like Ramaphosa did. Julius Malema and Ramaphosa are in the same category. So the white people in the white system are desperately looking for replacement for Ramaphosa. And they want somebody whom they can boost his image to be trusted by the community to can take them forward, but somebody who is still under their control. They want to take over. Let me say, white people are well aware that they don't have the power or the control that they used to have anymore, especially with the young people, the young Africans. They know that the young Africans have already decided to unite Africa on the ground. It's only the structures that they have put in place which are still holding, resisting the change. But the change can no longer be resisted. So they are quite aware of this. And because they are quite aware of this, they have to uh, allow the change to happen, but under their control. So Ibrahim Traore has taken over in Burkina Faso, and the Sahel states have taken over control of their lands, but in a way that the white man does not necessarily have control over. That is what they don't want. They want a situation where they have control. They want to allow change, like they did in South Africa, where they allowed change through Mandela, but retaining the control of how the change is going to happen, who is going to benefit out of the change, and who is going to lose out of the change. They want to keep control of that. So Africa change is inevitable. Unity of the African countries is inevitable. It's either we are united by Traore, or we will be united by under the control of the white people, because the ground, the citizens, the people on the ground have already decided. They are no more playing the games. They say the ordinary African is saying enough is enough. These puppet governments are just holding on to their dear life, but their story is over now. So the white people knows all of this. So they want control over the change. Julius Malema is one of the people that they want to use, whom they are actually promoting his international image, even when they create the animosity between him and Trump. It's only to boost his image in Africa, since since the emergence of Ibrahim Traore has actually reduce this popularity. So they want him to. Is it going to have any political impact? It will not have any political impact. Whatever sentencing that they are going to give, they are going to make sure that he keeps his privileges of being a parliamentarian, and also his privilege to be the ultimate leader at the end. They are not going to jeopardize that, but they are going to create an act which will try and convince a lot of black people that Malema is for black people, because his popularity is falling quite dramatically. The EFF is actually losing a lot of people in a dramatic way. So they want to, the reason they found him guilty is to give him more popularity on black youth, who will think that because they found him guilty, then white people don't like him. But it only works to, the strategy works every time. When black people think white people hate you, then they think you can represent them. So they know always that's the strategy that they want to implement, and they implement it. Unfortunately, many people does not read between the line. They take things as they are, but in actual fact, I actually predicted that they are going to find him guilty. Even if they sentenced him to 15 years, he can still appeal until constitutional court. It can take up more than 10 years. This case can take more than 10 years ongoing. He does have the money to go through the case, and he's got the time to go to play the game so that he stay relevant. The evidence are hotting up on the commission. They want people to lose attention from the commission to pay attention to Julius Malem. General Kumalo today did not come to the commission because they say he's very sick. They say he couldn't testify because he's sick. If he couldn't testify because he's sick, then it tells you how serious are these people. They are not playing. Natim Tetwa is found dead in his hotel. It tells you how serious are these people. and how they want to get themselves out. They want to stop this commission, apparently, because it's revealing a lot than they were anticipating. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining the live stream. Click the like button and subscribe there to the channel. Yeah, you can support the royal opinion by um using the Capitec account on the description. The Capitec number, which is the Capitec registered number as well, you can use it. It's in the description. Or give me a super thanks if you feel you've got something to give. Thank you very much. Enjoy your night.